Let us continue with our lesson. And since we have written a validator over here, validator object, so let's go and implement it. So I'll go to the login activity first. And here, if you check, we have checked the empty for the empty value for the email as well as the password. And let's go on the top section over here, and I'll make it if condition if not validator, sorry, if not validator, right? Validator dot validate email, and pass the email parameter over here. If it is not valid, then we will go and insert some message over here, and similarly we will go for it else if and not a valid validator but a valid email and a password, and we pass the password over here. If it is not a valid password, then we'll go into some message over here. In the else part, I will just go and send the login link. So just copy this one and paste it over here. So here we can check that if it is not valid, then we are going to show some message. So I think it's just we copy this whole section and just paste it over here. And also for the password, just copy this section. Instead of writing, we just paste it over here too. And over here we need to just change the string. So title should be something like let's go and create a string first. I think that should be better. So if go to the string section, and let's create a string somewhere below over here, and I'll just say as a string name, and I will just say a valid email or validator title. So we can just say validator title. That should be better. And you can just say valid validation, validation field. Title we can just give as validation field. Let's copy this one and go to the login activity and replace this one and this one too. So we have a same title, validation field. And for the message, I can go to the string section again. Let's create a new string name, and I'll just say validation email I failed. So for this one, we can just give a message email validation failed, email validation failed. Please check your email address. Please check your email address, and this should be that should be fine. And just copy and create another one for the password and validation password. This one should be PSS password. Validation password failed. So password validation failed. Please check your password. Please check your password. Okay, that should be fine. So validation email failed. Just copy this one and put into the message section. And for the password, just copy this one and paste it over here. So that should be fine. And now we can just remove this one. We don't need this one, so you can just comment it out, right? Or if you want to comment it out, if you want to keep it for later reference, you can just comment it out, or else you can remove it. So if you don't want to make use, then you can remove it, or else you can just keep it as a reference for your check. It's better when you are doing a production environment, you just remove it because you don't want to have all of this which is not needed in your actual production environment. So it's good practice to remove all of the unwanted code and keep your code clean. But just for the practice, you can just keep it and take for your later reference, right? And let's go and go to the That should be fine, and let's run our application. The final thing is to run the application and check for the validator. So run the application, and let's wait for the application to get started. Let's test our validator. So I'll just say as demo 1, and okay, so the password, let's give 1234 only, and let's log in. You can see that the validation failed. That's great, right? Email validation failed. Please check your email address. And if I give a valid email address of, let's say, something like gmail.com, and let's try to log in, and you can see validation failed plus password validation failed. Please check your valid password. And now let's try to validate 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, and this 7, so a minimum is a 7, right? So let's try to validate, and let's log in, and that should be fine. And I think I haven't run my web server. That should be fine, and we have already successfully implemented the validation over here. So you can see that we get the Java socket timeout exception. So that's it. So we have successfully implemented a validation for the login, and we should be implementing the same thing for the sign up too. And in the next lecture, let's do it. Let's go and validate for the sign up. So let's meet up in the next lecture. Till then, have a great day.